Hi everyone, and welcome to the next installment of my build of Warhammer's Castigator tank from the Sisters of Battle. As you can see from this short video, the model is now complete. So in this episode, we're going to be looking at how we put all the detailing on the turret, along with how to magnetize the two sets of barrels. So if that's something of interest to you, then grab a chair and let's go do some modeling. So first off, as far as the magnetization goes, very straightforward. All you need to do is to make sure that you have opposite ends of the north and the south magnetization on the magnets. Which way around you decide to do, that's entirely up to you. But once it's done, it's a very easy way to just exchange the barrels while gaming. So first off, we just need to snip off both of the protrusions on each of the sets of barrels. And then what we do is drill out. This is a grill that actually matched the actual size that was cut off. So very straightforward. And then once that's done, it's just a matter of slipping in the magnets, which can be purchased anywhere. Very easy to get hold of. And again, making sure that the outsides are the same polarity. And then as you can see with the actual turret itself, the magnets fitted into the holes that were already made from the part, and those just had to have the opposite polarity as the ones on the barrels themselves. So what I did is checked that, make sure that they all fitted well and that they worked before I glued everything in. And once all glued together, that was left overnight clamped together. So as you can see, the barrels have actually now been made. A lot of cleaning up to be doing, as we talked about in the last video. Lots of joins because these are all two-part section components, so they all need to be filed and sanded back. The glossy side is where I use Tamiya liquid glue just to give a final covering. Now, as you can see, that the single barrel is very heavy, and the actual magnets can't keep it up in place, but that's not a major issue because the down position is the way it's meant to be. However, the double barrel can go up in the air if needed. So really pleased with how that all came out, and a very straightforward process. So now what we're going to do is start adding on some detail. We're going to do a little bit of texturing, some weld seams. I'm going to put a little cover on the vent there. So first of all, I wanted to take away the rivets on the turret. I've decided to change the rivets to nuts, and I'm using the Meng nut set, using the 0.8mm nuts to replace the rivets. As you can see, as we did in the first video, we just made some of the serrated edges on the protrusions, like you would get on an actual tank itself. And then preparation for putting in the welds, we need to just flatten out the corners and the edges, and then we just need to get our tool in to get in there and gouge out where we're going to be putting the weld seams. Now I use solder wire, 0.2, 0.3 and 0.4mm solder wire. Here I'm actually using the 0.2. Just need to get some CA glue, putting it into the groove before we add on the solder wire. There is a full tutorial on my site in the how to do section, so feel free to look in if you want to get some more details. But it's a very straightforward process, and once we get the solder wire in place, just a matter of pushing it into the groove, allowing the CA glue to do its job. It's very versatile, so we can just take that off with the nail. And then as far as the actual weld seam goes, it's entirely up to you. I mean, I use the end of my tweezers, just pushing it in, creating the groove. But if you want to design some sort of metal implement to give you a specific type of pattern, that's entirely up to you. And this also gives you a chance just to flatten it out a little bit, and it fits really nicely in place and looks the part. So that's all of the edges done. All that really left me to do was the bottom. Now I wanted to make this sort of look like the old T-85 Russian tanks. So I've gone for a bit of a thicker groove this time and thicker solder wire using the 0.4 mil. And this time I'm not putting a pattern on, I'm just leaving it as it is. I'm really pleased with how that turned out. And again, if you have a look on the T-84 World War II Russian tanks, they have a lot of sort of raw steel look to them on the underneath, where they've just come out of the foundry. So using this technique with the Dremel, I managed to apply that on this particular turret as well. Now this does cause quite a bit of mess. I had to go back round with the photo etch scrapes just to get the worst of it off, and then go around with a sanding stick and just to tidy it all up. But again, nice feature once done. Then we're getting a rasp on the end of the drill. What we want to do here is just to create a little bit of feature to the actual side of the steel. At this point, you could possibly even do holes for penetration of bullets or rays, whatever you fancy. And once that's done, it's just a matter of getting the Surfacer, Mr. Surfacer 500 again, and adding on the texture. We went into more detail in this in the first video, but the principle's all the same. Try and get a nice cover in, try and create that stippled effect, and then once it has dried out fully, just get your blue sanding stick and start sanding it down until you're happy with the final surface look. Once that was all done, it was just a matter of adding on the other parts. You have the rear box and the two side boxes. As you can see here, I just put a little photo etch cover on top of the vent. That was all out of the spares box. Not too sure what I'm going to do with that front lamp yet. Then we had to turn our attention to the cupola. Very straightforward, no issues there at all. Here we have the driver. I've set his head just to a little angle, just to be a little bit different. Beautiful detailing on the figure, and also his, well, I'm going to call it a ray gun. I'm sure the experts will call it something different. As you can see, there's no holes at the front, so those were drilled out just to create the barrels. And all in all, I was really pleased where the whole thing turned out. I've got pictures here of both with the double barrel as well as the single barrel, just to show you how easy it is just to swap those out if needed. So that's it all done now, really, guys. It's just a matter now of getting this primed up and painted, and that's what we're going to be looking at in the next video. So it just leaves me to say a massive thank you to all of my subscribers, old and new. Really appreciate your continued support of my work, and happy modelling.